What's up, you guys? It's Steve here, and man, there is a lot unfolding today with President Joe Biden and economic news. And this is your stimulus and infrastructure bill update. Now, stick with me throughout the entirety of this video. I've got a ton of video footage that has come out this morning to get you caught up on everything that has unfolded. Now, first up, take a look at this. We have some breaking news that came out just this morning that President Joe Biden has announced he's going to be releasing oil reserves to combat the high gas prices that we're hearing is being caused by supply chain issues and a 31-year all-time high in inflation. And we have the GOP that just about an hour ago this morning made an announcement that President Joe Biden's administration and their economic plans are worsening the inflation, and it's going to cause it to get even more so worse. I'm going to be sharing with you that video footage, but here's another article. Take a look, you guys. U.S. to release oil from reserves in coordination with other countries as well to lower the gas prices. Now, I'm going to get you all the details on this, as a lot of people are saying that all this inflation happening, they should release more stimulus to help Americans get through at this time. But we're hearing if they do that, that could cause inflation to get even worse. So rather than going that route, right now Biden is looking at other means to try to combat these prices that are increasing. And right now they're releasing oil reserves to try to get those gas prices down. Now, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And as you know, right now Congress is working away on the next stimulus package, that stimulus reconciliation bill that passed the House and is moving on to the Senate. Now, right now, there is not a fourth federal level stimulus check included in that package. However, that is not stopping Americans from applying the pressure to President Joe Biden to get one included, as if you missed the video yesterday, be sure to check it out right after this one. We're hearing that Americans are pushing Biden for a Thanksgiving holiday $2,000 stimulus check. Now, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, but a lot of people are saying this would help out a ton and would not add significantly to inflation if we just passed one extra check and not an entire package. Now, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below if you agree with that, if you think that would be a good idea, and let me know if by chance he did do that, or maybe he passed some executive order, would that cause you to vote for President Joe Biden again in 2024, as we're hearing he will be running again for re-election. And a lot of people were wondering if he was going to do so or not, because his approval ratings have not been very good, and we're actually seeing articles now coming out like this. Take a look. Donald Trump beats Joe Biden in key swing states in 2024 matchup, new poll shows. And we've heard that it is very likely that former President Donald Trump will be running again for re-election in 2024, and that will be a repeat of what we saw in 2020. Now, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. But also, you guys, like I mentioned, we've got a ton of video footage to get caught up on to let you know about everything unfolding with what's the way forward to fight inflation, what's going to be happening with stimulus. We've also heard that Jerome Powell will continue to be the chair of the Federal Reserve to help guide us through the economic recovery during this pandemic. So you guys, a ton of video footage. Let's go ahead and dive right in and get you caught up on the latest as to what's unfolding today, November 23rd, 2021, with economic news. But first, just wanted to say thank you so much for all the support on the second channel, Steve Ram Finance. There's so many people that have already subscribed. I'm really excited about launching that channel closer towards the end of the year. And if you're somebody that's interested in growing wealth, learning about personal finance, investing in real estate, stocks, crypto, starting businesses, consider joining that channel as well. I will pin a comment down below. All you got to do is click the link, go to the channel, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications. And we're going to be launching a ton of content on personal finance. Really looking forward to that channel. Thank you for all the support. But right now, let's dive into this video footage and get you caught up on the latest with economic news, President Joe Biden, and the path forward with stimulus, inflation, and working our way through everything that's going on. But before we do me one quick favor. Just takes a second. Smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. Helps me out a ton. Thank you so much. Leave your comments. Share this out. If this is your first time here, hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell to stay up to date. And if you got any specific questions for me, shoot them to me in the DM on Instagram at SteveRam3. But with that being said, you guys, let's go ahead and dive right in. And first, let's take a look at this warning that came out 1 hour ago from Republicans about inflation. And then we'll dive into the news updates coming out today on everything that's unfolding with Joe Biden and our economy.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. The subject today is inflation. 90% of Americans believe inflation is the number one problem in the country. Some on the other side have described this as transitory. or easily dealt with. I think all the indicators are that it's only going to get worse. Just to give you one tangible example, in my state, 750,000 people in Kentucky depend on natural gas or propane to heat their homes this winter. For many of my constituents, this is a choice, in some cases, between putting food on the table and staying warm. This could not be a more challenging problem confronting America. And as we all now know, this was created by this administration by dumping almost $2 trillion on the economy through the American Rescue Plan, and even liberal economists who actually like what they're trying to pass now, the reckless tax and spending spree, admit that on this issue, it will only make it worse.
So there you have it. That just came out a little while ago from Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, and he blamed the stimulus packages from prior for the current inflation. Now, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And we actually heard President Joe Biden himself actually kind of echo something similar, as we heard him say that stimulus checks may have caused some of this current inflation. Now, as we mentioned before, a lot of people are saying, well, if we just pass checks and not everything in these packages, as the current one doesn't even have a check, that it might not hit inflation so hard and we could have money go directly towards people. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Now, he's trying to provide other means by which to combat some of this inflation, and one of those, as we mentioned, is releasing the oil reserves. Now, we've got a whole lot of video footage here. We're going to get you caught up on all the details. Go ahead and take a look with me right now.
Moments ago, some breaking news. The White House announced it is releasing oil from the nation's Strategic Petroleum Reserve in an effort to address rising gas prices ahead of the holiday season. Joining us now, member of the White House Council of Economic Advisors, Heather Boushey. Heather, good morning. It's good to see you. Lots to talk about with you. Let me ask you about this breaking news, though. The United States working in concert with China, Japan, India, South Korea to tap into its strategic oil reserves to bring down gas prices. Tell us about the decision.
Well, as you were just talking about, we know that gas prices have been going up for American families, and one way to deal with this is to make sure that there is oil available. So this is a decision where the Department of Energy is going to be releasing 50 billion barrels of oil into the market in order to help contain costs, and doing this in concert with a number of allies, as you mentioned, and also the United Kingdom. And the purpose here is to reduce prices at the pump. And, since the stories of this have been starting to leak out over the past week, we've already seen prices down by 10%.
Hey, good morning. It's Jonathan Lemire. On the same issue, obviously, with the oil prices, they're walking billboards. When you when we drive down the street, you see the gas prices up. That's a reflection of inflation and supply chain issues. Now, there's been some hopeful signs in the last week or so that some of the supply chain issues are easing. We've got a long way to go, and it doesn't seem like they will be done or cleared up before the holiday season. Can you walk us through what else the White House is doing right now to try to ease this pressure on consumers?
Well, the White House has been engaged in a number of efforts to ease supply chains. So just keeping on the issue of oil for a moment, of course, about a week and a half or 2 weeks ago, the president sent a letter to the Federal Trade Commission to make sure that those prices that consumers are paying at the pump are actually fair prices. Because as we've seen the changes in the prices of oil going down, that hasn't actually been reflected in gas prices. And so he has asked the Federal Trade Commission to make sure that there's no illegal activity going on and that is leading to too high prices for consumers. So that's one thing. And of course, the president has been very focused on supply chains for quite some time. One of the things he's done is made sure that those ports out on the West Coast, where so many of American imports come through and then are shipped via truck across the country, making sure that we got out the kinks in those supply chains, made it possible for truckers to work 24/7. And as a result, we've seen now record goods flowing through those ports. We've seen a number of major retailers announcing that they actually have their shelves are stocked and they are ready to go for this holiday season.
So, Heather, can you just tell me, from looking back at history when other presidents have done this, how soon would you expect consumers to notice a significant impact for the president releasing 50 million barrels of oil from the Strategic Reserve?
Well, as I noted, as this news started to leak out into the press, we already saw oil prices come down. So to some extent, we're already seeing the impact. And the question is whether or not that'll be reflected in prices at the pump. But, here's the thing. We really need to remember that while a big part of what American consumers face is costs, they also are able to, go out and buy all these things because they have jobs. And so there's, two sides of the coin for the American family. Right now, the unemployment rate is 4.6%. This time last year, forecasters were estimating that it would take another 2 years for us to get to this place. So these challenges that we're seeing in terms of prices really are because we've been so successful in getting people back to work so quickly. This Thanksgiving season, far fewer people are going hungry, and that is a result of effective policy over the past year.
Heather, let me ask you, and I had misstated this earlier. I had said Elizabeth Warren supported the renomination of Jerome Powell. She had not, along with Donald Trump in the Wall Street Journal editorial page. But you did have Pramila Jayapal as well as Mitch McConnell lining up in support of this election. Jonathan Lemire was reporting earlier it took a while for the president to get to where he did on this. But explain why Chairman Powell is an important pick to stay at the Fed.
Well, here's the thing. We have lived through an historic pandemic. And yet we did not have a financial crisis. And that is in large part because of the actions that the Federal Reserve took at the beginning of the pandemic to make sure that they kept financial markets stable. At the same time, Chairman Powell, over the past few years, led the Federal Reserve in a rethink of their policies. They did all these events around the country, these Fed Listens tours. And then in August of 2020, they announced a new framework that gave the Federal Reserve a broader band of tools. And that has really helped them be able to focus on their dual mandate of getting us back to full employment while also making sure that they ensured price stability. So I think that, there's been a lot of successes over the past few years with the Fed, and I think that all of that really played into the president's decision of how to make this choice.
Member of the White House Council of Economic Advisors, Heather Boushey, thank you very much for being on this morning.
Wow, so a lot of good content in that interview. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, as we heard them say that President Joe Biden, the breaking news is he's going to be releasing the oil reserves to help combat some of this high gas prices, the pressure that's happening at the pump. And they're saying that this is being caused by supply chain issues and a 31-year high of inflation, which we heard the GOP in that other video clip say that this was being caused by the Biden administration and all the stimulus that they've already passed. Now, also, we heard that they're going to be re-electing Jerome Powell as the chair of the Federal Reserve to help guide our economy throughout the course of this pandemic. And we heard them say, even though we had a pandemic crisis, we didn't have an economic crisis. And they're saying this is due to the guidance of Jerome Powell. And also, they're saying that unemployment is a lot lower than we were anticipating, that it would be 2 years until we reach this rate. But I'm hearing a lot of people saying that those numbers are a little misleading because that does not include all the people that had federal unemployment benefits that ended in September and now don't have any, and they're not being included in the count. So let me know your thoughts, but a lot of people are saying that unemployment is still a lot worse than the numbers are indicating. And also, as we mentioned, stimulus causing inflation. President Joe Biden kind of echoed this recently, and I shared that with you in a previous video, and he said that this might have been due to some of the checks that are going out. But right now, the package they're working on does not include a check, but they're saying it's going to be adding $160 billion to our national debt over the course of the next 10 years, which comes out to about $16 billion per year, which they're saying is significantly lower than previous stimulus packages that we've had. So a lot of information coming out, I know, and there's likely going to be a whole lot more. I'll be sure to keep you up to date here on the channel with stimulus, the economy, Biden, everything going on. And as always, you guys, thank you so much for joining me. If you made it this far and you haven't already, don't forget, take a quick second to smash that like button. Helps out with the algorithm. Leave your comments, share this out. If this is your first time here and you like to stay up to date, hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell. Consider joining the second channel, Steve Ram Finance. And if you got any specific questions for me, shoot them to me in the DM on Instagram at SteveRam3. But with that being said, you guys, I hope this reaches you well. I'll catch you in the next video. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.